Hello everyone and welcome to this week's short video tutorial. This will be the last spot in the free ebook that's available on the World Searching Federation website. It is based on the book called Deception and Countermeasures in the Xiangqi opening, whereby there were several selected bots from the book. There's a new version of the book, a second edition of it that was published out 1 or 2 years ago, and it remains one of the most popular books on Xiangqi opening theory. So without further ado, let us begin. In this last spot, we'll deal with the elephant opening. Black will counter with the left central cannon, which is perhaps the most popular counter there is. And Red will continue with the right proper horse, suggesting that he would go for the greenhouse defense as red. Black develops his left horse as a proper horse too. Foul chariot, and red decides on the greenhouse defense as mentioned earlier. Black chooses the left edge horse variation, whereby he can move this cannon over to the 7th file or the 6th file. Now in this spot, red would choose to play P7+1 to develop this left horse. Now as for black, he has chosen the left central cannon. Now this is a very popular counter, whereby when black uses this, he will strive for balanced development of the pieces and use the central cannon to pin the central file and apply pressure on the enemy. And black would usually patiently wait for red to make mistakes and to start counter-attacking very viciously. Now, red advances the 7th pawn, which is one of the major operations in this opening. Another option would be P3+1. And with P3+1, C2 goes to 4 will be played. And it will still be a nearly even situation for both colors. Okay? So P7+1 is discussed in today's spot. Now, this will be the move of deception. This will be the move of deception in this move, in this board, and the entire board will discuss this very important situation. Now, usually, C2 equals to 4 is played for the 5-6 cannons. Red would advance his cannon to the riverbank to discourage the black chariot from developing. If R1 equals to 2 were played, red will play H7+8. Red will usually counter the riverbank cannon. Red will move his horse as mentioned, trade pawns, a prophylactic move, and red will have a slight advantage in this situation, but black will have a very playable game. Another commonly seen variation would be to place R8 equals to 4 before trading the pawns. Trade of chariots. Black will develop his chariot as a ranked chariot. So would red, attacking the horse, and red will decide to develop it as a EI horse in this manner, and it will be a standoff for both colors. Now, in this board deception, the deceptive move will be P3+1. Now, black will usually capture it. And this was a very sound move to make. Red should not be too concerned with controlling his major pieces and play C2 go +4 instead, because the pawn will now cross the river and the elephant will be forced to capture it, or the pawn will advance. Now this would weaken red's formation. Red will take the opportunity to develop his right chariot and move it to this red file, and black will be prepared to attack this horse. Now usually red should make this move to should black move the chariot, he will retreat the cannon to protect the horse. Now would C2 -3 be a good idea? It would not be a good idea, because this chariot had cannon had retreated, black would be able to develop his other chariot. So black would have the initiative because this cannon went forward and went backward again. So usually in this situation, red will protect the horse in this manner, and black would counter with c2 goes to 3, targeting the elephant if need be. If red will usually continue with c8 plus 4. Now, all my wonder, would it be a good idea to threaten the black chariot? The answer would be no, because black will play r4 equals to 2, forcing the cannon across the river, and black would apply a cannon fork, threatening the chariot and also the horse. Now, if the chariot moved, black would capture the cannon and gain material. So black would be very satisfied with this situation. So that is why h8 plus 4 is played. Now black will apply pressure, retreating the horse, and immediately the edge horse will now try to get a piece of the action by advancing to this file. Selected move to prevent red from moving the chariot here. Now, as can be seen, black will now be initiating an attack, and red cannot be satisfied with this situation. Hence, c2 plus 4 would not be a good idea because the pawn would be a very powerful piece if allowed to cross the river. So after sacrificing the pawn, this is one commonly used tactic whereby black would advance the chariot to take revenge for his black pawn initially earlier. Now there are two main variations. The first would be P7 plus 1 and the other would be H7 plus 6. Now if red was overly concerned with this pawn and tried to protect it after crossing the river, and if you push it forward, black will immediately play c8 equals to 3 to apply a fork. Now red will now advance his horse to prevent capture and also protect the pawn. And black would go for the 5-6 cannons, threatening to play h3 plus 4 to shoo the horse away. The pawn cannot move to this file either, or the red horse will be lost. So it is imperative to traverse the pawn to lock down the black chariot, because if this black chariot were also allowed to be developed, red will be in deep trouble. Now a4 plus 5 at this point to facilitate development of the red chariot is not a good idea, because now the black chariot will be out and red would have a hard time ahead in the game once the two black chariots are out. So P7 equals to 8 is needed. Now red would play a very nice move by sacrificing his cannon, threatening to capture the red chariot. R3 equals to 4 would not be a good idea at this point, because red would simply retreat his horse, and black would take a time and exterminate the pawn, but red would be given a chance back into the game, and it would not be as good as the variation in the main line. So h4 plus 7 would be a very aggressive move by black, and red would usually move the chariot away, because if red captured the cannon, black will apply a pin, and red will try to get some compensation, but the check, and the black chariot will now move back to this file in the nick of time. So if the pawn captured the chariot, red will capture the cannon and the pawn was to be lost. Black would have a significant upper hand. And because the red king did not capture the black cannon, the black cannon will now retreat and apply SQR. Now, this is another important move to make. Red cannot rush his moves and try to gain material with P8 plus 1, because black would trade material, check, and black will sacrifice material to try to threaten the red king. So this will not be desirable either. So black will sacrifice material to mount an attack and have the advantage. Hence, that is why red cannot be hasty and try to gain material with P8+1. So, once this is played, black will play very aggressively, disallowing the horse to cross the river with R3 equals to 4. Trade of material. The chariot will now still be threatening to capture the advisor, forcing it to retreat. And again, the black chariot will get back to this file in the nick of time. At this point, red will lack an advisor. The pawn number of pawns are equal, and but black would have a slight advantage in this situation, which this is one of the aims he was striving for when making this move. Sorry, P3+1. So as can be seen, in this position, black can be very satisfied, and he would have many options available later on. So in variation B, instead it will be advocated that red play H7+6 instead. Now, threatening to sacrifice the pawn that just crossed the river. And there's two sub-variations at this point. One would be black capturing the pawn, the other would be C2 equals to 4. So if C8 equals to 3 to capture the pawn or plate, black will immediately retreat his horse. Then this will be in fact a fork or a double attack. The horse will be threatening the cannon, the chariot, while this cannon will now be threatening to capture the cannon. So black will have to retreat all those material. And black, because the black chariot was now held at an undesirable location, the red horse will retreat and go on to be developed as the tiger-headed horse to gain momentum. Now, it would not be a good idea to trade material at this point in time, because after trading material, red would have the initiative. Sorry, black would have a slight. Red would have a slight initiative, but the main line given was much better. So red would develop the chariot, the horse over here, threatening to kill the black chariot. And you can see that even though black used two cannons to attack, the red horse refused to budge, and the time is now right for the red horse to force a trade of material. So if black captured the chariot, the elephant would retreat, and red would now be free to attack the pale corner horse position. So this would be, regardless of what black might counter from here on, red would have an advantage. Now, variation BB would be the last variation in this book, in this board, sorry. Again, black will retreat his horse to protect the pawn. And the black cannon will try to make some mischief. And it will appear that black has successfully advanced his cannon across the river to launch a counter attack, and the pawn will soon be lost. However, once the pale corner cannon left black's cannon rank, black's entire formation will be greatly weakened. And this will be obvious target for red to attack. Now, the red horse might be criticized as having wasted some moves moving forward and backward, but this is more than compensated by black's poor positioning. So let's say the black cannon retreat, and if black chose to develop the chariot to threaten the enemy cannon, it will not improve black's situation, because the cannon will immediately counter and threaten to capture the black chariot, forcing it away. And as can be seen, all of red's pieces are ready to go. C2 equals to 3 on the next move will apply a lot of pressure on this file. So black will have a hard time dealing with this situation. R1 equals to 2 is not a good idea, and P7+1 will be the better move. Threatening the chariot, getting a chariot again. Now, at this point in time, red did not move his horse to safety and instead chose to trade material, sacrifice the horse, and black did not capture the horse, because if he did, the red pawn will now do damage. And as can be seen, although red had sacrificed the horse, this pawn will now have penetrated very, very deeply and was prepared to go for the checkmate or cause some trouble with its position. So black's left flank is still very void, it's devoid of material and very difficult to defend. So it will be advised for black to play r2 equals to 7, which is one of the stubbornest counters in this situation. Black will retreat the cannon, and red will move his chariot to safety, refusing to be pinned by the black chariot. Taking the horse, and at this point, black's left horse is under attack, and red will have the obvious advantage. If black counters with r8 plus 4, this is r8 plus 4, red can counter with c9 equals to 5. So for example, this chariot will now protect the cannon. It will be protected itself and also apply some pressure on this farm. Okay, so this will be the end of the discussion of the part. So a short recap. P3+1, P7+1 would be the topic of discussion in this part. Variation A, C2 plus 4 was played, whereby red ignored the potential of this pawn to do damage. And after trading some material, black will be starting to counter attack, and red will be in all sorts of trouble. So after P7+1, C plus 4, and it would be advisable for red to simply sacrifice the pawn and play C8, H7 plus 6 instead, protecting the pawn. And it appears that black has successfully charged his cannon across the river and was now prepared to attack the palace corner, the bot corner. However, it will still be too early to decide whose advantage it is, but one major flaw in black's current position will be the lack of protection of its cannon rank, because this cannon had already moved away. It tries to do some mischief. And red will have a significant advantage. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video tutorial. If you like the work that I've been doing for the past few years, please subscribe and give me a like. I want to promote Xiangqi to the world, and I will be doing some more new and nice tutorials on the Xiangqi opening and possibly the Xiangqi mid game. And I thank you all for supporting me and lending me your ears all this time. Thank you and have a nice weekend ahead.